Good evening, viewers, and welcome back to WNBA Trending. I'm your host, Ava, and tonight we are diving deep into one of the most highly anticipated matchups of this postseason. It's a series that had all the makings of a classic before it even tipped off, but after Game 1, the narrative might already be shifting. The Indiana Fever, led by rookie sensation Caitlin Clark, delivered a statement performance against the defending champions, the Las Vegas Aces. And after that shellacking, Caitlin Clark summed it all up with just two simple words that fans and analysts alike are still buzzing about. Let's break it down. The Fever entered Game 1 as clear underdogs. The Aces, after all, are back-to-back champions. They boast talent, depth, and experience, not to mention a core of Aliyah Wilson, Chelsea Gray, and Kelsey Plum. Many expected the Aces to come out strong, flex their championship DNA, and set the tone early. But what unfolded on the court was something very few saw coming. The Fever dominated from start to finish. It wasn't just a win, it was a dismantling. And it left Las Vegas fans stunned. Caitlin Clark, once again, was the centerpiece of the show. Her ability to rise to the occasion on the biggest stage continues to be the storyline of her young career. Clark finished with an electrifying stat line, mixing her long-range shooting with incredible court vision and leadership. But what stood out the most wasn't just her numbers. It was her composure, her swagger, and her ability to make the game bend to her will. After the final buzzer, reporters swarmed Clark, eager to capture the essence of what had just happened. The question on everyone's mind was simple: how did the Fever manage to dismantle the league's reigning powerhouse in such convincing fashion? Clark didn't launch into a long explanation. She didn't analyze X's and O's or give a fiery speech. Instead, she looked up, smiled, and said just two words: "We're ready." Those words might seem small, almost understated, but in the context of what had just taken place, they carried the weight of a seismic shift. "We're ready" wasn't just about Game 1. It was about this team's journey, their growth, and their refusal to be intimidated. It was about a rookie declaring that the Indiana Fever, once at the bottom of the standings, were prepared to take on anyone, even the mighty Las Vegas Aces. And let's be honest, Clark's words felt like a warning shot across the league. The Fever's supporting cast deserves credit too. Aliyah Boston was dominant in the paint, battling against one of the toughest front courts in the league. Kelsey Mitchell played with relentless energy, stretching the floor and making clutch shots. The bench provided timely sparks, and defensively, Indiana locked in to disrupt the Aces' rhythm. The Fever looked like a team on a mission, and for stretches of that game, Las Vegas looked overwhelmed. The Aces, for their part, are not panicking just yet. Head coach Becky Hammon has been through this before, and she knows how to rally her squad. Aliyah Wilson, ever the competitor, acknowledged that they were outplayed, but made it clear that this series is far from over. But for the first time in a long time, the Aces looked vulnerable. And that vulnerability can be credited to Caitlin Clark and the Fever's relentless approach. The media has already run wild with Clark's "We're ready" proclamation. Headlines across the sports world are dissecting those two words. Analysts are debating whether this is the passing of the torch moment, where a young star begins to rewrite the hierarchy of the league. Fans on social media are echoing the sentiment, flooding timelines with the phrase and turning it into a rallying cry for Fever Nation. And make no mistake, the Fever faithful have been waiting for this. Indiana hasn't had this kind of buzz in years, but Clark's arrival has changed everything. Packed arenas, national TV slots, and now a commanding playoff performance against the defending champs. It's the kind of storyline sports dreams are made of. But let's step back and really consider what "we're ready" means in the broader picture. Ready for what? Ready for the series? Certainly. Ready to shock the league? Absolutely. But perhaps Clark's words go even deeper. Maybe she's signaling that this new generation of WNBA stars is ready to take the league to heights it's never been before. Clark, along with peers like Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, and Paige Buecher's waiting in the wings, represents the future. The Fever's Game 1 explosion could be the start of something much bigger than just a playoff upset. Now, the challenge for Indiana is consistency. One game doesn't define a series, and the Aces are too talented, too experienced, to fold after a single blow. Game 2 will be a test of whether Clark and company can sustain this level of play, whether they can continue to impose their will against a team that's been the gold standard of the league. But if Game 1 was any indication, the Fever's confidence is sky-high, and Caitlin Clark's leadership is already leaving its mark. Fans across the country will be watching closely. The Fever's rise has injected a new level of intrigue into the postseason, and Clark's two-word declaration has given us all a storyline to follow. Can the Aces bounce back and reassert their dominance? Or will Indiana prove that they are, in fact, ready, not just for the moment, but for the throne? As we close tonight's coverage, remember those two words. We're ready. Simple.
Direct.
Powerful. Caitlin Clark doesn't just play with skill. She plays with conviction. And that conviction has turned the Fever into must-watch basketball. This series has only just begun, but it already feels like history is unfolding before our eyes. I'm Ava, and this has been WNBA Trending. Stay tuned for more updates, highlights, and analysis as this postseason continues. Because if Game 1 taught us anything, it's that the future is here, and the Indiana Fever are ready to embrace it.